So sponsorship, and whenever I see Hannah Burke, it's always got Mid Hearts next to your name.
Yeah, so
and you've been doing that since you were probably whenever.
Yeah, so I started playing out of Mid Hearts, played out of Essendon for 3 years because they were paying me, and at that stage I couldn't not turn down the money that they offered.
Yeah.
So for 3 years played out of Essendon. The last 7 years I've played out of Mid Hearts. So when I'm announced on the TV, on the tee box at the British Open, it's Hannah Burke from Mid Hearts. Which is always pretty cool.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
And sponsorship. How do you get your sponsors? Who are they?
So, I mean, for sponsors for us, it's kind of word of mouth. Sometimes you play in pro-ams, meet someone, take a liking, have a chat, and kind of go from there. I'm quite lucky. The Bennetts are members here. They played in the pro-am with Dame Laura, had a great time, and again, the relationship kind of went from there. And I just asked if they'd sponsored me, and they've gone ahead and done that. So that's Bennetts, So
Bennetts
Auto Parts,
Bennetts Auto Parts. Oh yes. Parts that are auto.
Loads of parts.
Yeah.
And then a guy, Russell, he sponsors a couple of girls on tour. Has done for years. He's just really a follower of women's golf. That's my hat.
Yes.
So DST Group, and then he's got a company, like a couple of companies within the group. So sometimes I've got different hats on, that kind of companies that he owns. But he's been on board for 3 or 4 years now. Same with, he was sponsoring Lyd and Flick Johnson as well. Flick's just retired though, gone into refereeing. But he covers a few girls on tour, which is he's done for years. Before that, it was Vicky Lang, a Scottish. I think he sponsored her for 4 or 5 years. So
fantastic.
He's a big kind of women's sports fan. So he's great.
Just need more of them.
Yeah, but it's more word of mouth, meeting the right people. It's kind of just happens. It's not big companies that will come, because there's not, again, loads that they get out of it. So it's quite a hard sell.
No. Well, I suppose it's just with the right person.
Yeah.
So if anyone here, I was thinking that I wasn't actually necessarily everyone here would like to sponsor you, but if everyone here knew someone, what would be if you would have like a perfect sponsor or something that you think would work, who should they be looking for? Who should I be looking for?
It could be anybody.
Yeah.
It's usually more that you've got like a relationship with them. So you can kind of connect on that level. So they're keen golfers, they enjoy women's sports, they like watching it. Yeah. So for me, it then makes it easier, so I can invite them to golf tournaments. I always offer them tickets, play golf with them, play in their corporate golf day if they have a corporate golf day, run corporate clinics for them if that's something that they want to do. Because that's the thing, a lot of companies now, a lot of them play golf, a lot of them host golf days. So it's kind of getting that in, that's something I can give them, and then they can sponsor me back, kind of thing. So it's got to kind of work both ways. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
And is there sort of, again, total ignorance, a sort of a minimum, so someone could say sponsor your golf tees or something and put that on there?
I mean, if they wanted to. I've never had that offer before, but maybe.
I'm always open to a different offer.
Scatter them around places.
Is there a minimum?
Not really, not that I know of. No.
There definitely isn't a maximum, is there?
No, definitely not a maximum. No, I'll take anything.
So if you look back at say last year, because last year was a pretty busy year, was it? In those 12 months, getting married and all
other things. Yeah.
You waved to Donna now. Donna waved back. Go on. Thank you very much indeed. Easy, 5 fingers. At least she got it. Thank you. But if you look at a busy 12 months, so not of a tour season, what are your costs? How much do you have to find before?
I think last year's expenses, so I don't take a caddy all the time again, I just can't really afford it.
No. But the worst one was Peter Yates.
No comment. Stop being mean. He's not here to defend himself.
Great.
But he's not here, so that's another point should be made.
Sorry,
last year would have been just under 40, I think, on my tax return.
£40,000.
Yeah. And that's
a lot to find,
yeah,
isn't it?
and that's only taking a caddy where I'm needed. So some tournaments we have to have a caddy. It's mandatory to have a caddy. So all the Aramco series, anything that's live on TV for the 4 days, usually you have to have a caddy and they have to carry. So any of those, that brings an extra expense of £800-900 a week. So yeah, if you had a full-time caddy on board, you'd be talking probably nearer 60, 55, 60.
So we're still very much looking for sponsorship. And
yeah, because I mean, ideally you want to be able to do it properly. So for me, I'd ideally have a caddy full time that knows things that I'm working on in my swing, has a relationship with my coach, can do my stats. Like, ideally you want to be able to do that, but then it's hard to put money into that when you've got to get yourself there at the same time. So it's tricky to balance it all. Yeah.
Something that I've actually got in the questions, but I really want to know because it's part of the tour thing. Really, is during your touring and you're keeping fit and you're doing your practice, whatever. Can you just talk through the week or the time between tournaments that you say? What do you do? Because I know what I do.
It's like a week at home or a week on
a week at home
tournament site.
A week at home when you're, I'll go and have a putt on a Tuesday and I might go to the driving range on something.
Yeah.
But what do you do?
It kind of depends. This week I'm only home for 6 days, so I got back from Australia Monday and I fly to South Africa on Sunday. So this week is just catching up on jobs and life, and then practicing in the middle. So seeing my coach for lessons, tidy up.
And you're still with?
Brian Lewis at Goslin. So Brian first taught me when I was at Pangshanger, and then I've always just found my way back to Brian. Yeah. I think I just enjoyed the abuse, actually. Anyone that's met Brian before.
Has anyone else experienced the Brian Lewis abuse?
Yeah.
There's several hands raised.
But like, I just can't.
All a little bit shaky.
It's like a love-hate relationship. Like, I know he loves me, but really, he looks at me like he hates me all of the time. The relationship we have is great. I mean, he'll tell me straight up if I'm not working hard enough, if I'm hitting it terrible, if I need to do something better. Like, I know he'll tell me if I'm getting fat or like it's that kind of relationship.
Look to camera.
It's that kind of relationship. Yeah. But it is like sometimes you just need that kick up the bum when you get a bit you lose your way a bit, and that's the kind of relationship that we have.
You hit the gym?
Yep, gym. Yeah, we've actually just started on tour as well. They've started a performance institute as well. So we now have Fiona Scott, who's based at the University of Hertfordshire. She travels 10 events a year, so she can oversee some stuff as well.
Ooh, very golf specific.
Pretty much, yeah. And then you're just trying to stay injury free basically throughout the year is the main thing, because that's the hardest part of playing is any niggles.
And the older you get,
the harder it is.
Harder it is. So gym-wise, and how many balls do you hit a week? When you're going to...
it really depends. Like today I practiced for an hour and a half, so probably hit 150 or so at the range.
Anybody hit 150 balls this week? Not on a golf course? No.
Yeah.
That was just one round, Chris, wasn't it?
But it depends. It depends what I'm working on. If there's certain things that I'm working on, if I'm not working as much on something, as in I'm hitting it fairly well, then I'll play more and try and get out on the course more. It's all each week's different because you've kind of got to adapt to whatever the stats are saying. So you keep stats for each of your rounds, and if something's not performing, then that's kind of what you're focusing on, while trying to keep the other bits ticking over, so then you don't lose those either. So it's
on tour, is it stats that people supply, or do you have your own?
Yeah, so I used to have my own one, and then the LET have gone with Upgame, like a new stats that's all put in online, and then you can see it all online. And that's all stroke gained.
I can watch your thing, so I can see your fairways.
Yeah, so it's actually been launched
in regulation
next week, I think, that you'll be able to see more in-depth stats of that tournament. Upgame are producing more stroke gains just for the LET. So you'll be able to see like the difficult holes on the course and who played it best and things like that. So that's become much more of a part of the game now for performance purposes.
Does it help?
Yeah, because it highlights weaknesses, and that's what you need to do. So we always say in golf, it's when you get it's like a 1% you're trying to find, because really I'm trying to find if I can get 1% of 7, if I can get 0.4 a shot around, that's actually 2 shots a tournament, which could be 30th to 10th, which could be 12 grand. So you're talking like if you can get 1 shot around, that's huge. So if you can get 2% better in something, that might save you a shot or 2 around, or shot or 2 a tournament, and it's the difference, or making the cut, missing the cut. Missed the cut by 1 shot last week. So it's
really hurt when I hit myself.
But that's
So close.
the constant, yeah. And that last week it's hard because, so the week before that at Coffs Harbour, tree line, small greens really plays to my strengths. Get to Wollongong and you could hit it 100 yards offline and find it and hit it again. So I always knew, turning up last week, I knew it was going to be a stretch. Like, I found the course was boring. It was just up and down, wide open, and I hit it straight. So me hitting 17 fairways doesn't matter because, I mean, they showed a shot of a girl pitching in for eagle and she was actually playing off the fringe of another hole. So on the par 5, I think she's probably hit that about 40 yards left of where she was playing from and then pitched in for a 3. Whereas some golf courses, that'd be in a hazard, the trees, or whatever. Well, the previous week at Coffs Harbour, that would have been out of play.
Been in trouble.
So it's just some weeks, like I always play well in India because the landing zones are 10 yards wide, and that's my strength. I can hit it accurately 95% of the time. So I always know I'm going to have a good week there because I don't get into any trouble.
Yeah.
Whereas if you hit it offline there, you're in a hazard and take a drop. So,
So certain courses, so you know certain times of year you'll
I'll play well.
on.
Yeah.